بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدي الكرام، طلبة وطالبات دبلوم التعليم العام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسعد الله أوقاتكم بكل خير. نتواصل معكم على الحب وعلى العطاء والجد والاجتهاد دائما عبر برنامج درس على الهواء. ونحن لسنا نعد عد تنازلي، وإنما وصلنا فعلا إلى الحلقات الأخيرة من البرنامج. اليوم حلقة اللغة الإنجليزية، وغدا أيضا حلقة أخرى للغة الإنجليزية. يوم الأربعاء حلقة غير واردة في الجدول، ولكنها حدثت وسنعلن عنها بإذن الله وعن تفاصيلها من خلال حلقة اليوم. أيضا بالنسبة لامتحاناتكم، اليوم كان آخر امتحان أديته في مادة هذا وطني. بقي امتحان أخير سيكون لمادة اللغة الإنجليزية يوم الأربعاء القادم بإذن الله. وهكذا تنطوي صفحة كانت مضيئة ومشرقة بالأمل وبالإيجابية والعطاء في حياتكم، لتبدأوا صفحات أخرى قادمة أيضا محملة بتفاصيل من الجد والاجتهاد تسهم في بناء هذا الوطن الغالي، سلطنة عمان، بسواعدكم وبعقولكم وبأفكاركم، ليكون هكذا عاليا خفاقا في مصاف الدول العالمية. بعد قليل نبدأ حلقة اليوم، وهي الحلقة الأولى لمادة اللغة الإنجليزية. كونوا معنا. تحية لكم مشاهدي الكرام، طلبة وطالبات دبلوم التعليم العام. أعزائي المشاهدين عبر قناة مباشر، نبدأ معكم حلقة اليوم لمادة اللغة الإنجليزية، المادة الأخيرة في برنامجنا والمادة الأخيرة في جدول امتحاناتكم، وإن شاء الله مثل ما يقولوا دائما الختام مسك. اليوم وباكر إن شاء الله راح نناقش مادة اللغة الإنجليزية. يسعدني جدا أن أرحب بضيفتنا الدائمة في مواد اللغة الإنجليزية اليوم وأيضا يوم الغد وفي الفصل الأول وفي أيضا حلقات سابقة، الأستاذة فاطمة بنت عبد الله البريكية، معلمة لغة إنجليزية. أستاذة فاطمة أهلا بك معنا.
أهلا وسهلا.
يا مرحبا وسهلا. طبعا خلينا نتفق على نقاط معينة تختص بمادة اللغة الإنجليزية. الآن راح نستعرض الورقة الامتحانية. احنا دائما في مادة اللغة الإنجليزية نستعرض الورقة الامتحانية بكل تفصيل. الأستاذة فاطمة راح تستعرض ورقة امتحان اللغة الإنجليزية، كيف راح يكون كل سؤال راح تعطيه حقه من التوضيح. أتمنى تكونوا مركزين، أتمنى تكونوا متابعين أيضا، على أساس أنه لو في أسئلة بعد ذلك عن ورقة الامتحان بإمكانكم أنكم تسألوها بعد ما تشوفوا الشرح والتفصيل اللي الأستاذة فاطمة أيضا راح تخبرنا إياه. النقطة الثانية اللي دائما متفقين عليها في حلقة اللغة الإنجليزية، ما عليه أنا وأنتو نتكلم عربي، أنا وأنتو نتكلم عربي، أنتو والأستاذة فاطمة ما تتكلموا عربي، تتكلموا إيش؟ إنجليزي. فعلا تتكلموا إنجليزي. ليش؟ لأنه هذه مادة لغة ولغة إنجليزية، عشان فقط مش نختبركم في المادة، لا، عشان نطبق اللغة. لأنه حوار، أكيد محتاجين للحوار باللغة الإنجليزية. استماع، لما بتسمعوا الأستاذة فاطمة محتاجين للاستماع في اللغة الإنجليزية، النطق وغيرها من الأشياء. إذن فقط الهدف منه أنه إحنا نطبق اللغة الإنجليزية من خلال حوارنا مع الأستاذة فاطمة. اتفقنا؟ اتفقنا. جميل. نبدأ الورقة الامتحانية. أستاذة فاطمة تفضلي.
First of all, welcome all grade 12 students, and inshallah I wish you as a happy start today with our episode with the English subject. Let's start. First of all, this is the cover page, as you can see. Then we will start immediately with the listening question. Let's move to listening 1. As you used to have, we are going to have, or you are going to hear a conversation between, you are going to be given like two characters, like a woman and her boss, a daughter and her father, a son and his father, a boy or a certain person with a teacher or with a doctor, with whoever. The most important thing is that I want you to read the rubric of the listening question carefully from the beginning. Like from here, you are going to hear a conversation between. After the word between, you have, this gives you a chance to at least be in the mood of the listening question. As you know, this question is multiple choice question, and it has from 1 to 7 items. If we just look at the question, you have to read each question carefully. For example, number 1, the woman has been in Malaysia for 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. And I want you to be careful with this type of question that demands from you the number of the days. For example, maybe in the listening script it's said that 7 days, okay? And here you don't have 7 days in the options, but you have a week, and a week equals 7 days. So you have to be careful with this, because it comes a lot in the final examinations, whether in grade 12 or even in grade 11. So the most important thing, read the question carefully and even the options that you have in each question. So you have to concentrate while reading the question and give yourself time. Read the question before the teacher comes with the tape recorder. Don't wait for the teacher to come with the CD recorder and you start reading at that time. Yes, the teacher will give you time to read, but the time you spend with yourself earlier or at the beginning when you just receive the exam paper, this gives you a chance to read each question carefully and to even look at the vocabulary. Maybe you have some vocabulary that you don't know, so you are going to focus while listening. So here we have got like 7 items in this type of question, as you can see here. Okay, and just choose one. Don't choose more than one option, because if you choose more than one option, immediately you will not get a mark for it. And you have also to be, as I told you, careful with the tricky questions. Sometimes you have a tricky question in the listening, as I told you about the idea of the number of days. They say like 7 days, you hear it 7 days, but it is not here 7 days, it is here a week. So a week equal 7 days. Sometimes they say 14 days. 14 days equal 2 weeks. As you can see here, we have also 2 weeks. So be careful while you are reading the options and even the question. For example, the ministry wants to run a special project growing vegetables, fruit, or rice. Maybe they are not going to say fruit or vegetable. Maybe they will give you an example of a fruit. Like, for example, they will say banana, or they are going to say strawberry. So this here belongs to fruit. So be careful with this. Don't say that the question I have and the thing I'm listening to are different. No, they are not different. They are the same. All it needs from you is just focus and concentration and relax. Especially with the listening question, try to relax as much as you can before answering the listening question. For example, here we have in question 7, his reply is yes, no, maybe. So if you look at the last choice, which is maybe the person is going to say maybe as a word. Also, you are going to hear it maybe through certain words that have the same meaning with maybe. Another thing is that if you just look at the order of the question of the listening, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Read the questions because sometimes they don't come in the same order as you have it here in the question paper. Maybe the order that you have it in the listening script is different than the order that you have it here. So read each question carefully. Try to remember what does each question want from you immediately. From the first time when you hear, try to put a circle or shade the bubble that shows you the answer. If we go to listening number 2, it has two parts, part number 1 and part number 2. Again, read the rubric of each part carefully. You are going to hear a talk about a new treatment for heart disease. So this is talk about a new treatment and it is for heart disease. Part number 1, for each item, write a short answer. When you look here at the word short answer, between brackets it says not more than 4 words. So don't write more than 4 words. The maximum is 4 words. You are going to ask me, what about the word in, on, at? No, they are not going to count these as words. When we mean here word, we mean actual words that have certain meaning. Okay. Here, when you read this type of question, you have to read the WH question carefully. As you can see here, you have WH question. Like, for example, when was the first ever heart transplant operation carried out? So here you have the word when. When you look at the word when, it means here they are asking you about time. This time could be, for example, a year, or it could be part of the day, or it could be part of, for example, certain, for example, you can say when, you can answer 1990, you can say last week, last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, like this. So according to what you hear, put the time. Don't limit yourself to certain time. The time could be many things. It could be a name of the day like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It could be a year, 1990, 2000. It could be 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It could be afternoon, for example, evening, midnight, whatever. Another thing here we have, in what country was this done? What country? So when you look at the word what itself, without the word country, asks you about an animal, or even it asks you about non-living thing. But here it is determined. They are asking you about the country, the name of the country. So you have here to write the name of the country, like for example USA, like for example Oman, like Bahrain, Kuwait. These are considered to be countries, name of country. Today, what percentage of patients survive for 10 years after the operation? Percentage. So here they are asking you about the percentage. When we say percentage, we mean 20%, 90%, 100%, 10%, 7%. So this is regarding the percentage. Let's move to 11. What is now the main problem that patients face? So here you are going to write about the problem. Sometimes they mention words like where it asks you about place. Sometimes they ask you about who it asks you about the name of a person or people. Sometimes they ask you, for example, about why. When you see the word why, it means you have to write reason. You start the reason with the word because. So this is regarding part 1. If we move to part number 2, again it is multiple choice question. You have to read each question carefully and then give yourself a chance to read the options. Even the options are very important. Sometimes you feel that 2 options are similar, so you have to determine which one is needed to be the correct answer or the accurate one. And this needs from you focus and concentration. The total mark of the listening question is 15 marks. So please don't miss the 15 marks. The 15 marks can make a huge difference in your final mark of the final examination. Then we are going to move to vocabulary 1. If we look at the vocabulary question, complete the task. Use the words in the box below. For each item, shade in the bubble under the correct option. There are 3 extra words in the box. So as we know, Here they want you to choose just 5 words from these words, and the total number of the words are 8. So 5 are for the text, 3 are distractors, means you are not going to choose all of them. Just choose 5 that match each one. To answer vocabulary question, it needs from you many things. One of the things is understanding the text itself. So you have to read it and try to understand what is it going to talk about, or what is it talking about actually. Then when you go to the options, try to read, to choose or select the option that match the space that you have here, or the gap that you have here. And always read before the gap and after the gap to get the correct answer. So this is regarding vocabulary number 1. If we move to vocabulary number 2, I know that most of the students in the Sultanate of Oman love this type of question. I hope so. This type of question actually it tests from you the spelling of the word, if you can spell the word correctly or accurately. In each sentence, complete the word in the space provided. You are given the first letters of the word. Make sure your spelling is correct. So try to make sure that the spelling you have put here is correct for the options that you, or for the gap that you have. Actually, they are going to give you the first letter or the second letter or the first 3 letters sometimes of the word if the word is very long. So spelling here is very important to answer this type of question. I know that you are saying we have many words, 100 words in the exam, in the book, and just in the vocabulary we have 10 words, 5 words for spelling, 5 words for completion, I mean the other task. But I'm sure inshallah the words that you are going to get in the final examination is going to be from the book. This is number 1. Number 2, they are going to be up to you, to your level or to the average level, as we have seen with the grade 11 examination. Now let's see. Let's move to each one in the vocabulary has half a mark. The total is 2.5 for each one of them. Like for example, 5 marks for vocabulary and 5 marks for the grammar. Let's move now to the grammar. Grammar number 1. Sorry for this. As you can see, grammar number 1 is going to be multiple choice question. If we just look at grammar number 1, for each item shade in the bubble next to the correct option. It's a hopeless situation. There isn't dash we can do. Here we have anything, something, everything, nothing. Actually, if you just look at the words, they all end with the word thing, but there is a difference between the words that we have here, which is any, some, every, and no. And this is based on the rule. Whether the rules that comes in the final examination, they come from the book or they come from previous grades you have studied them before, like the basic rules of the English language. So here again you have to be careful, try to understand the sentence, then you can use even the elimination strategy in answering multiple choice. Elimination means that when you feel that there are some options are not related to the question, you immediately cross them and you just keep the ones that you feel are related to the question. For example, there isn't. We know that with isn't, this is mean negative. So with negative, we cannot use, for example, the word here that we have every or nothing or something. With negative, we use any, because any we can use it with negative question, with negative, and even with questions. So here, using the strategy of elimination helps you to choose the correct or the accurate answer. So this is regarding the grammar 1. Again, with the grammar, there is always a key word in the sentence helps you to choose the correct answer. So each word in the sentence is actually a key for you. So you have to read it carefully and you have to focus. Like for example here, the meaning could be a key word and the other words that come also could be a key word for you to choose the correct answer. Let's move to grammar number 2. Grammar number 2, complete the text, fill each gap with one word only. So here you don't have any words to choose, you don't have anything, you are not giving anything, just you have to read the question, you read the sentences or read the conversation, whatever you have here, read it carefully and try to guess which word you can put in each gap. If you read the conversation from the beginning, like speaker A, B, and finally A, this helps you to understand the whole conversation and finally to guess the words in each, for example, gap. Not only verb words you are going to put, like for example was, is, where. No, you are going also to put maybe the word in or at, since, for, on. For example, you have to write the word a. Like for example, they give you what dash lovely day. So you are going to write what a lovely day. So give yourself chance to read and understand before putting any word here. So now let's move to the reading. The reading, as you know, it has changed from semester number 1 or since semester number 1, where we have 3 reading questions instead of 2. The first reading question actually is true or false question. I think that now you are familiar with it, especially that you have undergone this type of question in semester number 1 and even with the practice with the teacher at school. I'm sure about this. You are going to read each text. Are the statements which follow this text true or false? For each item shade in the bubble under the correct option, you have to read, first of all, read the statement. Like for example, the writer works and lives in the same city. Read the statement, then go to the small text or the short text that you have here. Read the short text and try to understand. Does this statement that you have here, is it true? You are going to put it true. Or is it false? You are going to put false. When we say true, it means the information in the statement is just the same like the information you have in the text. But if the information in the statement is different than the information in the text, or it has been changed, it means the statement is going to be false. True means correct. False means wrong. Okay, so you have to be careful with this and don't mix up between the meaning. Here you are going to have 7 short text with true or false. Under each one you are going to have a statement. Then reading number 2, you are going to have short text, short reading text like this, and under the reading text you are going to have like 3 questions. They are going to be 2 related texts, and I guess they are going to be like something related to expressing opinion in the text. If we just look here, you are going to see the multiple choice. The multiple choice that we have here. Like for example, the first one here we have, its power situation was opened last year, 5 years ago, or 11 years ago. So you have to read the statement, then go to the text to find out the answer. Then after that we are going to move to reading number 3. Reading number 3 is a long reading text, and in this reading text actually you have under it some questions like WH question, as we have just explained in the listening, and after that you are going to have the multiple choice question. For example, they again start with the same words like what, how many, how, what was, where, when, why. If you just look at the instruction of the question, not more than 4 words. So please, don't copy a whole paragraph to answer the reading question. Just write the exact answer that is needed. If you count them, try not more than 4 words. And the answer actually is not more than 4 words. It cannot be 2 lines or a long line from the reading text. If you just copy a whole paragraph or a long line, you are not going to get the answer. Actually, they are going to look at the 4 first words only, and they will ignore the other things that you have written. Then we have got here writing number 1. If we just look at writing number 1, writing number 1, write a text of at least 100 words on the following topic. Your writing should be correct and well organized. So this type of writing, you are going to be given whether a title, it means like what we have here, Newspapers are endangered of being extinct nowadays. This could be a title, or even this could be a topic, and you have to write on it. You have to reflect your ideas on the statement or the title of the topic you have. Sometimes they give you a question, like for example, how is Eid al-Fitr celebrated in Oman? And then you have a question mark. So you have to answer the question, you have to write about Eid al-Fitr in Oman. You start with introduction, then with body, then with conclusion, like summarizing the whole ideas you have mentioned in the writing. So in this type of writing, you give information. That's why it's called informative. These information, whether they could be personal, they could give you a question about yourself to answer, or it could be general facts. Like writing about Eid al-Fitr is considered to be like providing the reader with general facts about Eid al-Fitr. Sometimes they ask you about social media applications. What are they? What do you think about them? So you are going to give information about them. You have to write about them. Okay? So here, providing information about a certain topic, and it has 10 marks. The last one is going to be a letter or email. If we just look at it, complete the following task. Write at least 100 words. Situation. Please, grade 12 students, when you answer the email question or the letter question, don't mix between the situation and the task. The situation is they want to give you the idea of the writing. The task is what they want you to write about. For example, imagine that you are Nasr or Nasra. So if you are a female, you are going to choose Nasra. Male, Nasr. You are studying in London and have got badly into debt. You owe some friends a lot of money. Write an email to your father. So here the task. Immediately look at the word write and see what is after write. Write an email to your father. So this is the first information. You are Nasr or Nasra. You will write an email to your father. Okay. To tell your father what? Explain how this has happened. So this is the first thing you are going to talk about. How you went through this bad experience. This is the first one. And ask him to help you. So you are going to write email to your father. Tell him what happened to you and ask for his help. Got it? So this is the most important thing. Please don't mix, because the students mix between the situation and the task. I want you to read the rubric carefully, read the situation. When you finish reading the situation, immediately go to the word write. Write what? Write email. To whom? To your father. About what? About this and this. That's it. So don't mix between the situation. Don't go and talk about your friend and the money to your friend and so on, and you forget the task, which is writing the email to your father. So here, be careful, please, with it. So this is regarding the exam paper for English examination.
شكرا أستاذة فاطمة، شكرا. إن شاء الله يكون الشرح واضح بالنسبة للورقة الامتحانية الخاصة بمادة اللغة الإنجليزية. أصلا والأستاذة فاطمة جالسة تشرح في أسئلة أيضا جاءت تعقيب. جميل هذا التفاعل، جميل، وأن احنا نشوف البرنامج أيضا نسجل ملاحظات على اللي تقوله الأستاذ، اللي يقوله الأستاذ، وبعد كذا ممكن نطرحها سواء عبر الفيسبوك أو عبر البريد الإلكتروني أو عبر الاتصالات. فقط أنوه على شيء جدا مهم. باكر فعلا امتحان مادة العلوم، وأنا فقط كنت أنوه عن حلقات البرنامج أنه اليوم إنجليزي وباكر إنجليزي. اليوم الامتحان كان هذا وطني، غدا إن شاء الله الامتحان في مادة العلوم والبيئة. بالنسبة للاستفسارات أنه ليش ما عملتوا حلقة علوم وبيئة، احنا عملنا حلقتين بالنسبة لمادة العلوم والبيئة. الحلقة الأولى كانت بتاريخ 24/5، الحلقة الأولى كانت بتاريخ 24/5 اللي هي حلقة العلوم والبيئة. الحلقة الثانية كانت بتاريخ 9/6 يوم الخميس الماضية، كانت حلقة أخرى اللي هي حلقة مادة العلوم والبيئة. باكر امتحان مادة العلوم والبيئة، باكر ويش 3 امتحان مادة العلوم والبيئة. أتمنى لكم التوفيق فيه إن شاء الله. يوم الأربعاء آخر امتحاناتكم راح تكون مع مادة اللغة الإنجليزية. نستقبل أسئلتكم واستفساراتكم، ومثل ما اتفقنا الحوار معي عادي باللغة العربية، الحوار مع الأستاذة فاطمة باللغة الإنجليزية. وناخذ مصطفى. مصطفى السلام عليكم. مصطفى مصطفى موجود؟ أيوة مصطفى.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام، كيف حالك يا مصطفى؟
الحمد لله تمام.
شو أخبارك؟ كيف صحتك؟
كويس الحمد لله.
جميل، حياك يا مصطفى معنا. أستاذة فاطمة محضرة أسئلة للطلبة. في سؤال مصطفى الأستاذة فاطمة حتسألك إياه، وبعد كذا أيضا تدخل في الحوار مع الأستاذة فاطمة باللغة الإنجليزية. تمام يا مصطفى؟ مصطفى
تمام.
لا بس وطي على صوت التلفزيون لو تكرمت. تمام. صاير صدى.
تمام.
طيب تفضل. تفضل.
Hello Mustafa.
حياك.
How are you? Good afternoon.
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Are you ready for the English exam?
Yes, of course.
Okay, good, great. Let's see. I'm going to ask you a question, Mustafa, okay?
Okay.
Listen carefully to the question. I want you to put the word in the gap, okay?
Okay.
Listen to the question. Who, number 8, who
Okay.
used dash live in Muscat? What are you going to put here in the dash? Who used dash live in Muscat? What are you going to put here in the gap? In this one. Mustafa? Who used. What do we have after used? Used. Two. Excellent, Mustafa. Bravo. Who used to live in Muscat? Now, what's your question, Mustafa? They are clapping their hands for you. Great.
Okay.
Okay, what's your question?
irregular و irregular. هل يجب علينا حفظهم؟
Regular and irregular verbs, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, in the writing or in the grammar?
And the grammar.
In the grammar question. Look at the screen, Mustafa, okay? I'm going to write something for you. You can go. This is the only question you have?
مصطفى
أيوة.
تابعنا على الشاشة. شكرا لك يا مصطفى. شكرا. تفضل أستاذة فاطمة.
Okay. Actually, Mustafa here is asking about regular and irregular verbs. We know that regular and irregular verbs, when we talk about them, we immediately look at the past simple verbs, certainly. If we just look at them, let's, for example, say, what do we mean by regular and irregular verbs? If I say, for example, Ali eats an apple. If we look here at this verb, this is actually, for example, present simple. When we talk about Ali every day, like Ali eats an apple every day. Okay, so this is present. When we want to make this verb in the past, here we immediately look at the verb. Is this verb regular or irregular? When we talk about regular verb, means that the verbs that follow a same pattern in ending, like they end in ed. Like, for example, we have the verb wash. If I want to make it past, I only add ed. I have, for example, the verb play. If I want to make it past, I add ed. So here this verb is considered to be like, these two verbs are considered to be regular verbs. Regular verbs, they end in ed. Wash, washed, play, played, cook, cooked, walk, walked, like this. So they follow the same pattern in ending, which is ed. But if I look at the verb eats here, the verb eats is considered to be like irregular verb. What do you mean by irregular verb? Irregular verbs means the verb itself change. Like, for example, in the past, the verb eat present, In the past, it becomes ate. Okay? The verb eat becomes ate. So if we look at the verb here, the whole verb has changed. Again, if we take another verb, like for example, the verb, for example, is, in the past it become was, as a helping verb or as a main verb. Let's see, if we have, for example, another verb, like for example, take, it becomes took. So look at the verb itself. The verb here actually changed. So it is very important that when you are here in grade 12 to know at least the common verbs when they change, whether they follow the same pattern, which is ed, or the whole verb change. Is it important? Mustafa is asking this. Is it important? Yes, it is very important, especially in the grammar question. Because in the grammar question, if you have, for example, a sentence or something, you have to put the exact verb. If the sentence is in the past and you are thinking of eat, which is present, when you put eat in the past, it has to be ate. It shouldn't be eat with s or eat. It should be ate. So here you have to be careful. Try at least to know, now you are studying English for 12 years. So I think that you have covered most of the common verbs. And when we come to regular and irregular verbs, what do we have in the final examination from them? We have the common verbs, like for example, eat, play, cook, start, be, was, is, are, were, become, like for example, buy and bought, and the verbs that you have in the book. So most of them are common, because the purpose of the question here is that the exam writer wants to know, are you able to differentiate between past or present? It means, are you able to use the irregular verb in the proper place, in the proper sentence or not? So you have to know them, you have to use them again, accurately in the grammar question and even in the writing. Because in the writing, sometimes, as we have here in the email, they ask you to write about an experience that happened to you in the past. So here you want to use past simple verbs. So the verbs could be regular, ends with ed, or irregular, where the whole verb, like for example, you say, I went to Suhar. So went is irregular verb for the verb go, because in the present we say go, in the past you say went. So it is very important that you use the accurate verb even in writing, so that you are going to gain the whole marks. That's it, Mustafa.
إن شاء الله مصطفى متابعنا وتكون الأمور تمام بالنسبة لك يا مصطفى. ناخذ سؤال عبر الفيسبوك. سيرين الدغيشية. Good evening. Could you please give an advice how we deal with the vocabulary in the exam? عاد هي حولت للعربي. زين تقول لأنه الاختبار يجيب بس كلمة من الكلمات المطلوبة. تفضل أستاذة فاطمة.
Yes, regarding the vocabulary question, the most important thing is that I don't want you to worry about vocabulary question a lot, because if you look at the vocabulary question, each one of them has only half mark. Each one of the question has half mark just. And I'm not saying here lose the half mark. No, actually all of us want you to keep each half mark in the final examination, because the final examination means your future, finally. Now, when we look at the vocabulary question, the most important thing is that you should, through the whole semester, you should have already practiced spelling the words, because you know that vocabulary number 2 deals with spelling. It means that you have to write the word correctly. And here, when they want you to write the word correctly, it means you have to spell it correctly. The words that come in the spelling question, if they are 5 words, 4 words they come from the book, or even 5 words they come from the book. As we have just seen with the grade 11 questions or examination, all the questions of the vocabulary, they come from the book. The words, they come from the book. And even if you have one word from outside the book, it's going to be like easy word, like restaurant, like pilot, like for example plane, like for example teacher or doctor or kitchen. These words are considered to be up to the students in grade 12 level. They are not higher your level, they are actually to the average student level. And 90% from the words, they come from the book, not from outside the book. So if you have practiced the word carefully in the book, it means you are going to be able to answer the vocabulary question. The other question, which is where you have to choose from 8 words, each word, and put it in the correct place. This depends on the understanding of the word and the meaning of the word. So you have to be careful with the meaning of the word and the spelling of the word to answer the final examination questions.
Thank you. نوف القلنداني. نوف السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
شو اخبارك يا نوف؟
الحمد لله تمام.
كيف امورك؟ تمام. باكر عندك علوم ولا لا؟
لا ما عندي.
ما عندك. كيف انجليزيتك؟ تمام ها؟
الحمد لله.
جميل جميل. اذا احطك مع استاذه فاطمه راح تعطيك سؤال وبعد كذا تطرحي سؤالك. طيب؟
اوكي.
تفضل.
Hello Noof, how are you?
Hi teacher, how are you? I am fine.
Okay, me too, I'm fine. How's Ramadan with you?
Good.
Are you happy that you are having the examination in Ramadan?
Yes.
Yes, you are close to Allah more now, yes?
Yes.
Okay, anyway, I'm joking. Let's see, Noof. Move to the question that we have here. Question number 9. Can you see question number 9?
Yes.
Surely that is dash best way to learn a new language. What should you write here in the gap? The. Bravo, Noof. Bravo. Excellent. That is the best way, because we know that with we have here superlative. With superlative, we add the word the before the adjective. Okay, Noof.
Yes.
What's your question now?
Teacher, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
The first one, I want the difference between onto, on, and into, in.
Okay.
Yes, and the second question is...
Let's answer the first and then we will move to another one. Okay.
Say it again. On to in.
Yes, and into, in.
Yes. What is the other question?
The other question is the form of the first writing in examination.
The form of the first writing. Did you watch from the beginning, the episode?
Yes.
Did you see the first one, which is informative?
Yes.
Okay, look here. Do you have the TV now?
Yes.
See? This is the first one. Do you mean this question?
Yes.
Okay,
the first writing. Okay.
Okay, Noof. Have you practiced writing informative writing at school?
Yes, but I don't remember it.
Okay, I will give you like here in the screen. Just follow me in the screen. Only these 2 questions do you have?
Yes, only.
Into, in, and what?
And onto and on.
Okay, you mean here as prepositions, right, Noof?
Yes.
Okay, as prepositions. Thank you very much, Noof. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Noof. As preposition, I'm going to answer the preposition question. As we know that here we have the word in. We also have the word on. We also have the word, for example, to. I think that these are the words that she has mentioned. If we just look at the word, these 2 which are in and on, Noof, when we talk about them, for example, the word in. The word in, we can use it a lot in time. Like, for example, I can say in 2000 or in 1990. So in grammar number 2, actually sometimes you will be asked to fill in the gaps. Sometimes they give you, like, for example, here, like they give you a sentence and then they give you like 1990. So here, before 1990, you are going to write the word in. Okay? Sometimes they give you, like, for example, a month. Like, for example, they say April. April is a month. So before April, you are going to write the word in. So here, with years, you put in. With months, you put again in. Let's move to the word on. we use the word on with days. Like for example, when I say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I put with them the word on. Another usage for the word on is that I put it with date. And here, be careful with the date. We said that 1990 we say in, April we say in. The date, if I have it like a full date. What do you mean by full date? The full date is that, for example, we mean that we have the whole date starting from the beginning. Like, for example, we have here a sentence, then a gap. Then here they write for you 3rd, 1990. Okay, like for example, 3rd of April or whatever, 1990. So you have here, this is actually a number. This number is not the number of the year. It is not related to the month. It is actually related to one of the days in the week, which is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If we go to this 3, if we go to the calendar, it could be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I want to make the idea clear for you and for most of the students. So consider the number 3 here, or 4, which is one of the days of the week. Like for example, 3rd of October, 3rd of April, 2nd of March. So the first number here is related to the day. So in this case, you should put here on, not in. If you have the year only, you put in. If you have the month only, you put in. But if you have a full day, like for example, 6th of May 2001. So here, because of this 6, you are going to put here on, because you have the full time or the full date. If you have only the month, in. If you have only the year, in. If you have the full day, you are going to put on. If you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you are going to put on. So this is regarding in and on. Also, we have the word to. We use actually the word to for destination. Like for example, I say I went to Muscat, or I went to the pharmacy. So it could be a destination for a certain place, or it could be a building. So this is regarding the in and on and to. Now let's move to the writing. The writing that Nof is asking about is the informative writing. Actually, this writing is considered as one of the most easiest type of writing you can have in the English. Why it is easy? Because it asks you to give information about something. They are not guiding you with or restricting you to certain information and follow this information and write about them. No, they give you the topic, or they give you the title, they give you the question, and they want you to write about it. Like for example, how is Eid al-Fitr celebrated in Oman? Let's have this as a question to practice it. Let's see here. If we have this question about Eid al-Fitr, we can say here like an introduction. We can write an introduction first of all. For example, I can write Omani people have, or like any Muslim people, or in Oman we have two common. Let's change it. In Oman, we have, like for example, 2 main Eids to celebrate. Okay, you can write such as Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr, full stop. Then you are going to write here, Eid al-Fitr is a happy moment in our life in Oman. Then you conclude the sentence here in the introduction. For example, I'm going to write about Eid al-Fitr, what the things that we do and the things that we eat. So here you are going to talk about eating. What do people eat in Eid al-Fitr, and what are the activities they do to celebrate Eid al-Fitr. When you finish these two ideas here in the paragraph, you can come here in the conclusion and write, for example, in conclusion or in short, whatever you want to write, Eid al-Fitr is a very important, for example, occasion that happened in Oman. We all feel happy, and that's it. You conclude the ideas that you have here. In the body, what are you going to write? In the body, you are going, actually in the conclusion and the introduction, they are clear for you because you are following the same pattern, which is introducing your ideas and here summarizing your ideas. But the most important thing here is in the body. What are you going to write? If you have, for example, in the first paragraph, you talk about the activities that you do in Eid al-Fitr. You visit your family, your relatives, you wear new clothes, you go to the souq, you eat halwa, okay? That's it. For example, in the second paragraph, you can say, we, for example, slaughter the goats, we cook the meat, we cook, for example, the barbecue, and so on. So here you talk about something related to Eid al-Fitr. So informative writing, it's between your hand. You have the title, you have the topic, you have the question. They want you to provide them with information about it, okay? And I hope, inshallah, the question is not going to be too general. It's going to be specific. This will help you to write accurately and properly. So that's it.
I hope this is the question which is North mean it, or maybe she mean another questions. So نوف إذا كان هو هذا السؤال، إذا مش هو بس أكدي لنا على الجزئية أو السؤال اللي أنت ما أدري موجود على الهواء نوف. إذا ناخذ سؤال من الفيسبوك وبعد كذا راح نتأكد منه إذا كانت الجزئية هي اللي تذكرها. السلام عليكم، نريد حل السؤال الخامس في الامتحان نفسه اللي عرضتيه الأستاذة فاطمة، جرامر 1. السؤال الخامس
Grammar 1.
أيوة.
Let's move to grammar 1. Here is grammar 1. Number 5. Okay. I have never driven to Salalah. Can you tell me how long dash to get there? It takes, it's taking, is it taking, it takes. Actually, first of all, before you answer this type of question, you have to look at each option carefully. And I want each student to learn now from me, how can we answer such a question in the final examination, especially if we have words that are close to each other. You have actually to separate each word and to know the meaning of each word and to know the type of the verb. The person says here, I have never driven to Salalah. Okay, so if we look at this one here, can you tell me how long? So this is the question, start from here. So when we are making a question, it is not the same as when we are writing a sentence, because if we are writing a sentence, the order of the words will be subject, verb, object. But if we are writing a question, we know that the place of the subject and the object and the verb, they are taken by vice versa. It means the subject goes to the place of the object. Sorry, let's look here, it's better. I will explain this because I want them all to know. In the sentence, we have subject, verb, object. So this is the order of the sentence. Like, for example, it takes me 2 hours. Okay, so here we have it is subject, takes is the verb, and finally here me 2 hours, this considered to be like object. So this is the order of the sentence. This is a sentence because it's end in full stop. Now let's move here. Let's see. I don't know where has it. Maybe at the beginning. Okay, here it is. Look now at this one. If we are going to make a question, we always know that the place of the subject and the verb are going to be like this. And here in this task, we are going to have like a helping verb with the main verb. So if I want to make a question, this will come here and this will come here. This is the idea of making a question. And actually with having the word which is the question word, like how long, like how many, when, was, and then you have the order. Where this comes here, the subject comes in the place of the verb and the verb comes in the place of the subject. Now let's see. Let's move to the question again. I have never driven to Salalah. Can you tell me how long? See the first one. It take to get there. The second one, it's taking to get there. The third one, is it taking to get there? The fourth one, it takes to get there. Let's see. The first one starts with subject, verb, subject, helping verb, and the verb. Verb, subject, and then the verb with ing, subject with verb. So if you look 1, 2, 3, we have subject, verb, subject, verb. And this is a question. With the question, we don't write subject, verb. We write verb to be, subject, then the verb with ing. So the answer is C. I hope that you have got the idea of choosing the correct answer. So English is like math. It's like physics with the grammar. You have to analyze each question to find out. They make it for you easy. They give you 3 options which are the same. A, B, and D. They are all the same. Subject, verb, subject, verb, subject, verb. So C only is the different. And C is the correct because we have verb to be, subject, verb with ing. So that's it.
جميل. نرجع لنوف. نوف أهلا بك. نوف ما أدري تابعت الإجابة صح؟
نعم تابعت.
أنت مش نفس السؤال اللي كنت تريد الإجابة عليه؟
السؤال هو الفرق بين in
تفضل أستاذة فاطمة معك.
Yes.
The difference between in, into, and on to. That's in page 33 in workbook.
Okay, so you have mentioned this because what I got is that you want the differences between in, on, and to.
On. Yes.
Which page, Nof, again?
In 33.
Okay,
in
33
workbook.
in the workbook. And did you follow the writing explanation?
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Okay, welcome. 33 or 32?
Yes.
32. Okay.
No, yes.
32, صح? Right?
33.
33.
The skills.
Workbook, it's here, I think 32, Nof.
Okay.
Task number 2, right?
33, 33. 32, 33.
Yes, here, these 2 pages. Okay, Nof, let's see here. What do we have? Read the text below, fill each gap or blank with the correct preposition from the box above the text. The number of times of each preposition used in the is specified as shown. Let's see. There is no difference, Nof, between them other than the meaning of the preposition. Because as I explained before regarding the word in, on, to, and so on. The first thing is that you should know the meaning of the preposition. So here there is no actually like what do we call it, like grammatical rule to put here. No, it's just the meaning. You should know the meaning of the word onto, and then you are going to be able to put it in the correct place as we have here. Because what are the prepositions that we have? By, for, from, in, of, on, onto, out of, and with. So Nof, it's going to be just knowing each meaning. I want you to just go to the dictionary and try to find out the meaning of the word and store it in your mind, because I know that Omani students, they relate between the meaning of the preposition in English to the Arabic one. No, I want you to see more examples of the word onto so that it's going to stick to your mind. And when you have it, or when you see it in the final examination, or even in the university or in the college, you will be able to use it properly or accurately. So here it is not related to grammatical rule rather than meaning. So you have to focus on the meaning, Nof, okay?
Okay, teacher, thank you.
واضح نوف؟
Yes.
شكرا لك. شكرا. ناخذ سؤال أيضا عبر صفحة الفيسبوك من فاطمة البلوشي. Hello teacher, could you explain to us when we use an and in with months?
And
In with
In.
with the months, yeah.
with months.
Yeah.
We explained about in.
And an.
And is not related to months. Maybe she means on and an and in, as we have just explained.
Yeah, I think.
Yes. As we have just explained here, I will explain quickly for you because I know that many students, even excellent students, they mix using in and on. Okay, that's why I thought that Noof was asking about it at the beginning. Let's see. Listen here carefully again. We use in with years. 2000, 1990, 18, for example, 80. So this is a year. So with the years, we use the word in. Okay? Then we use again in with months.
On and in. Yeah.
Yes, we use again in with month. Month like, for example, April, May, June, July, December, October, November, whatever. These are months. So we use with them in. Okay? So that's it. This is the first thing. Use in with years. Use in with months. Now let's move to on. We use on with days. Like, for example, we can say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we use here what? On. Then, can I use on with number with date? Yes, you can use on with number with date. But when, let's see here, when I have the full date, like for example, I have 3rd of July, like this. If I have here a dash, I'm going to put on. Why on? Because I have here the 3rd. And 3rd, like 1st, 2nd, 4th of July, 7th of July, 20 July, 29 July, 17, 16 July. So here I'm talking about the number, which is the first one, which is this. Because of this, I put on. So this on is not for July, it is for the number before July. Actually, the number here is one day of the week. So imagine that 3rd of July, it could be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's why we are putting here what? On. Like on 3rd of July. For example, you have 13 May. Because I have here 13 May, I'm going here to put what? On. Because here I'm put it for 13, not for May. If I have May alone, it's going to be in. April alone, in. July alone, in. But if I have, for example, 13 May, 20 May, 2nd May, so I'm putting here on for the number which is here. And we know that the month has whether 30 days or 29 days, 28 days or 31 days. If I have like full date now, like for example, 20 of March or May, okay, 2000. Because I have 20, I'm going to put on. I'm not going to look at 2000, I'm not going to look at May, I will look at the number first of all. If I have here the number, so it's on. If I have year only, in. Month only, in. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on. The full date, on. That's it.
إن شاء الله أيضا فاطمة متابعتنا. ناخذ سؤال آخر أيضا من فاطمة طالبة أخرى. Please can you explain the model verb and give example for each one?
Okay. If we just look at the modal verbs, actually we have here example of the modal verbs in the book, in theme number to page 21 so that everyone can follow us. Modal verbs here, what do we have here in the book? We have modal verbs of obligation, desirability, and necessity. Okay? Obligation means you are obliged to do a certain thing. Then we have desirability, it means it's like a desire or a wish, and then we have necessity, it's like a need for something. So this is what we have here in the course book. We have don't, need to, shouldn't, have to, need to, mustn't, and ought to. If you want more explanation on it, actually we have to go to the grammar section that we have in the workbook, and especially in the page that we have here, page 86. If we just look at page 86, we can see here in this page the differences of the modal verbs and the meaning of each one of them. Let's see them together. So this is the page that I mean. Let's see. Modal verbs. They are types of auxiliary verbs which help other verbs. They are used to express ideas. So we use them as helping verbs, and we use them to express a certain idea or a certain meaning. Now let's look at them. The first one is ability. Ability means I can do something. So we can say, for example, I can swim. So if we look at the verb can, which is considered to be as modal verb, auxiliary verb, helping verb, so the first one is can. And when I use can in a sentence, it means I have the ability to do something. I can do it. I can swim. I can play football. I can use the computer. I can, for example, speak English. So this is here reflecting the ability. The second one that we have here is permission. Permission is that you are asking for something like, may I leave the room? So use the word may. The may here is not the may of the month may, no. The word may here is used to take a permission for something. You are asking to do something, but in a polite way. May I leave the room? May I speak to for example, a certain person? Okay, may I speak to you? May I do this? So here we have the word may. May is for permission. If we look at the other one, which is certainty, like the population of the world will increase. Well, we use will for the future. So here I'm giving them about, I'm certain about something that's going to happen, but to a certain extent, okay, which is will. So here we have can, may, will. Another thing, we have possibility, like unfortunately the panda may become extinct. So here we have may for possibility. So we can have may for permission, we can have may for possibility. It's possible to happen. This may happen, okay? So this is the other one. We also have the one for request, like could. Could I use your pen, Mr. Khalfan? Could I use your pen?
Of course.
So here, thank you very much. This is an example. So this is a request. I'm requesting something. I'm asking something, which is could. Then we have obligation. Students must answer all 4 exam questions. Must. So when we have must, you have to do it. There is no other way you can do it. If you have, for example, in the police, they say, you mustn't park here, mustn't use this parking. So it's like a rule. You shouldn't do it, or you mustn't do it. Then we have desirability. You should try and eat less. Try, should. You should try. So this is a desire, should. Okay? Then we have necessity. You need to wear warm clothes in winter. Need to. So they come together. Need to. So here this is again necessity. Then we have lack of necessity, because need to, you must do it, or you have to do it, or you should do it. Lack of necessity means you don't need to, which is you needn't arrive before 8 o'clock. So this is for the modal verbs that we have here. What is important about modal verb? The first thing, you know the meaning of each one of them, as I have explained here. Number 2 is that you have to know a fact about modal verbs. Let's see here. When we say modal verbs, like for example, could I, okay? Or for example, if I have may I, or may he, or may she, Or for example, he will. Okay, so here we have could, may, will. Or for example, they need to. Look here, if we have a gap for the verb. Sorry. The verb that comes after the modal verb, they have to be infinitive. What do we mean by infinitive? The basic form of the verb. No ed, no ing, nothing should be attached to the verb. As I asked Mr. Khalfan, could I use your pen, please? So here we have could, then subject, then use. Look at the verb use. No ed, no ing, no s is attached to the verb, nothing. May I leave? So here again, this is the infinitive verb or the form verb. He will, for example, play. See, the verb here that comes after them, they have to be infinitive. No s, no ed, no ing should attach. They need to study hard. So again, here we have study, play, leave, use. So the verb that come after modal verb, they have to be infinitive or the basic form of the verb. No s, no ed, no ing is attached to the verb. So that's it about modal verbs. Okay, you should know the meaning. And the other thing you should know that they come after the modal verbs. The verbs that come after the modal verb or the main verb, it should be infinitive. No ed, no ing, no nothing should be attached to the verb. So that's it about modal verbs.
Thank you. ناخذ اتصال لمياء الكلباني. لمياء السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام، يا هلا.
يا مرحبا، كيفك يا لمياء؟
الحمد لله رب العالمين، بنعمة.
الله يعطيك العافية إن شاء الله. كيف اللغة الإنجليزية؟
الحمد لله تمام.
تمام. كيف شايفة مستوى الأسئلة ومستوى الطرح لحد الآن؟ يعني كيف شايفته؟
جميل صراحة،
جميل.
ممتاز.
في حاجات معينة حابين إنه الأستاذة تركز عليها في حلقة باكر؟
لا يعني عادي، مجرد جرامر وكذا.
جميل. طيب الآن بتكوني مع الأستاذة فاطمة والحوار باللغة الإنجليزية، تمام؟
اوكي.
شكرا لمياء.
Hello Lamia, how are you?
Hi miss, I am fine. What about you?
Alhamdulillah, fine. Did you cook something today?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. What's your question? Or I will give you a question, okay Lamia?
Okay teacher.
Okay. See here Lamia. The question that we have here, the director, question 11. Can you see question 11? The last
Yes, I
one.
can.
The last one, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. The director reported dash the accident happened in Rui. What should you write after reported?
Infinitive.
The director reported dash the accident happened in Rui. This is in theme number 1, the grammar of reported speech and direct speech. The director reported dash the accident happened in Rui. Reported what?
I don't know.
Okay, if we say for example, the teacher said dash Amal has left the room. What can we write here? Said what?
That.
That. Very good. Again, reported, we put that. Okay? It's the same. The director reported that the accident happened in Rui. Okay? Lamia?
Okay.
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 It's the same. Reported or said, whatever. It's in theme number 1. Now, what's your question?
My question in page, the grammar in page 53.
53.
Could you teacher please explain the rule which is about used to? I mean when I can put used to or used to.
Used to?
And used to.
Which one? With ed or what do you mean here?
Sometimes we use
Yes.
without e, without d.
Yes.
Used to, and sometimes we put used to.
Okay. Lamia. Now, first of all, we use the word used to with infinitive to talk about habit. Do you know this? we use it to talk about habits or situation that happened to us in the past, okay, and that no longer happen now. So this is the idea of using the word used to. Mostly they come with ed, but when we have used to without ed, like, do you have your book now? Can you see number 6?
Yes, I can.
Did you dash used to live in Nizwa? Can you see this one?
Yes.
Because what do we have here? Who used to live there? Number 5, it is with ed, okay? Number 3, it is with ed. Number 2, it is with ed. Number 1, it is with ed. Can you see it, Lamia?
Yes, I can.
Only 6 and 4 with no ed. Why do you think we don't have here ed in 4 and 6? Do you know, Lamia?
And 4 and 6.
No ed. Why?
Because it is maybe question.
And the question, where is the question? Is it in the past or present or future?
In the past.
Very good, Lamia, bravo. So you have actually answered the question. Because here we have the question or the sentence in the past, like didn't. Can you see didn't?
Yes.
And in 6 we have what? Did. Can you see did?
Yes.
Okay, because we have didn't and did, both of these words, they are auxiliary verb and they are talking about what? Past, right? Like, for example, we say, did you visit, did you have هذا وطني exam yesterday? What's the answer? Yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so here we are asking about the past. We are using the word did to ask about what? The past, right, Lamia?
Yes.
Okay, so because of that, after the word did or didn't, the verb should come with no ed. Can you see? After did, didn't, should, shouldn't, don't, must, mustn't, and especially did and didn't, as we have here in 6 and 4, the verb come no ed, okay? The verb comes with no ed. It comes the basic form of the verb. That's why you have here did you, then after you have what? Use, and the use no ed, because we have did. Because of did, we don't put d to the verb. Got it? And again, in number 4, they didn't what? Use, no d, because we have didn't. Because of did.
Yes, in the past.
Aywa, yes, very good. Because it is in the past, we don't put ed to the verb used to. But the word used to, it talks about the past. But if I have did or didn't, I don't put ed to the use. I write it like use, not used to. But mostly, like 90%, they come like with ed. Used to, for example, I used to play football. I used to, for example, live in Muscat. I used to talk 2 languages. I used to cook in my home. So here, used to come with ed. But if I have didn't or did, no ed should come to the word use. Got it?
Yes, teacher, I get it.
Okay, thank you very much.
تمام لمياء؟ لمياء شكرا لك، شكرا. خلينا نتفق على بعض الأشياء. في رسالة إلكترونية، بريد إلكتروني من سميرة المسكري. سميرة تعليم كبار بمدرسة عائشة الراسبية. سميرة، رسالتك وصلت بكل تفاصيلها، وإن شاء الله احنا أيضا راح نحيلها للمعنيين بالمديرية العامة للتقويم التربوي، وهي تتكلم عن بعض التفاصيل اللي تخص الممتحنين بتعليم الكبار وبعض التحديات اللي تواجههم. إن شاء الله أيضا راح نحيلها الرسالة للمعنيين في التقويم التربوي. بالنسبة للأسئلة اللي على الفيسبوك إن شاء الله راح نكملها باكر، راح نكمل الأسئلة اللي طرحت يوم الغد. مهم جدا أنكم تكتبوا أسماءكم، مهم جدا، خاصة اللي حاطين يعني أسماء مستعارة أو ألقاب. مهم أنكم تذكروا أسماءكم عشان نقدر نقرأ أسئلتكم. خلونا أخبركم عن حلقة يوم الأربعاء. حلقة يوم الأربعاء ما كانت موجودة في الجدول، بس صارت للضرورة. راح تكون من الساعة 4 للساعة 5 يوم الأربعاء، بتكونوا خلصتوا امتحان اللغة الإنجليزية ومخلصين كل امتحاناتكم، ما عندكم شيء. أتمنى أنك فعلا تتابعوا حلقة يوم الأربعاء. احنا خلال هاليومين، يعني اليوم أو باكر أو بعد باكر، ننتظر تواصل من مركز القبول الموحد بوزارة التعليم العالي. في عندهم شيء حابين يعلنوه، في عندهم شيء حابين يخبروكم إياه. أنا أتوقع أنه فيما يخص البعثات الداخلية أو الخارجية، أتوقع هالشيء، فإحنا متواصلين معهم. فهم قالوا بكرة إذا أعلنا هالشيء في حلقة باكر راح نعلنه بشكل مقتضب كونها حلقة اللغة الإنجليزية، وراح نعلنه بشيء من التفصيل في حلقة يوم الأربعاء إذا هم أكدوا لنا هالشيء. الشيء الثاني اللي بنتكلم عنه في حلقة يوم الأربعاء اللي هو فيما يتعلق بعمليات تصحيح الامتحانات، وأيضا متى متوقع إعلان النتائج، هل راح يكون قبل العيد ولا بعد العيد؟ هالشيء أيضا راح نتكلم عنه إن شاء الله، بالإضافة إلى حلقة بتكون خاصة عن البرنامج، عن برنامجنا درس على الهواء. راح نتكلم عن برنامجنا، عن الدورة الخاصة بالفصلين الأول والثاني، ملاحظاتكم ورؤاكم أيضا بالنسبة لعملية التطوير في البرنامج إن شاء الله. هذا يوم الأربعاء باكر حلقتنا راح تكون مخصصة لمادة اللغة الإنجليزية. الامتحان باكر راح يكون لمادة العلوم والبيئة. باسمكم أشكر ضيفة هذه الحلقة الأستاذة فاطمة بنت عبد الله البريكية، معلمة مادة اللغة الإنجليزية. شكرا لك أستاذة فاطمة.
شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا. بالنسبة للطلبة اللي راح يقدم امتحان مادة العلوم والبيئة يوم الغد، أتمنى لكم كل التوفيق إن شاء الله، أداء امتحان موفق. بالنسبة للطلبة اللي ما عندهم امتحان علوم، عندهم امتحان لغة إنجليزية، أتمنى لكم مذاكرة مفيدة. تقبل الله منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال. إلى اللقاء.